From the outside, my life in the suburbs looked like a picture-perfect postcard, the kind that makes others green with envy while they sip their lattes and scroll through social media. Our home was a jaw-droppingly huge palace, boasting a lawn so pristine it could probably win a beauty pageant, and a pool that sparkled like it was auditioning for a role in a soap opera under the golden sunlight. My husband Peter was a real go-getter, and our son Crick, at 20, was just about to toss his graduation cap in the air and join the ranks of the I have a degree now what club. To anyone watching, we looked like the poster family for happiness, the kind of crew that others would definitely want to copy if only they could figure out how to juggle all our quirks. Yet, inside that house, reality was more like a sitcom gone wrong. Peter poured his heart and soul into his job, and when he finally graced our home with his presence, it was as if I had turned invisible poof. Gone without a trace. His attention was glued to his phone or the television, like a moth to a flame, while the warmth that once connected us had vanished faster than my willpower at a buffet. The guy who used to give me bear hugs now acts like I'm a ghost in a horror movie, totally avoiding eye contact. As the days rolled on, the silence between us grew thicker than a hippo in a tutu trying to hide behind a lamppost, making me feel like a specter in my own marriage, trapped in a life that should have been bursting with color but instead resembled a gray sock left in the wash too long. On a Saturday afternoon in the early summer, the winds of change decided it was time to throw a party and stir things up a bit. Crick decided to throw out an invite to his best buddy, Jackie, for a little splash fest in the pool. He had been popping by for months, always the polite guest, like a well-trained puppy that knows how to sit and stay just without the tail wagging. Just another boy in my eyes, until that fateful day when the universe decided to throw a plot twist my way. As I stood in the kitchen, rinsing the dishes at the sink, my eyes drifted over to the sliding glass doors that led to our backyard, probably wondering if the grass was greener on the other side or if it was just a clever ruse by the neighbor's dog. And there he was, striking a pose like a statue that just realized it forgot to wear pants. Jackie stood at the edge of the pool, looking like a sun-kissed Greek statue, with water droplets sliding down his skin like they were auditioning for a role in a blockbuster movie. His physique was so toned and agile, it looked like he was auditioning for a superhero movie, with sinews that could probably snap a rubber band just by flexing. He dove into the water like a swan, if that swan had just tripped over its own feet. Bursting onto the scene moments later, he flashed a grin so dazzling it could probably light up a small city, complete with a set of pearly whites that looked like they were auditioning for a toothpaste commercial. For a split second, my eyes were glued like a kid in a candy store. It wasn't just his chiseled abs or his dazzling smile that had me swooning. There was something deeper going on, like a squirrel plotting world domination while we just thought it was gathering nuts. The way he strutted around was like a peacock in a tuxedo, impressive, yet slightly ridiculous. His confidence level was off the charts. His cozy little bubble of bliss was so not like Peter's I just woke up from a nap vibe. A wondrous sensation began to rise within me, like a sock that just found its long-lost partner in the dryer. A feeling I thought had retired and moved to Florida. I dragged myself back to the dishes, but my hands were shaking like they'd just seen a ghost, and my mind kept wandering off to Jackie like a puppy chasing a squirrel. In the weeks that followed, Jackie started showing up at our house more often than a stray cat looking for a free meal. He and Crick transformed the garage into their personal gaming arena, battling it out in video games until the wee hours, and then they lounged by the pool like two sunbathing champions during those lazy afternoons. Whenever Jackie was around, it was like having a neon sign flashing "Look at me." Right in my face. Every single glance. Every single word, without exception. Every time his fabulously rich and resonant voice bounced around the house, it was like a concert for the furniture. One afternoon, Crick zoomed off to the store like a caffeinated squirrel, leaving Jackie in his dust. As I stood in the kitchen whipping up dinner, he waltzed in like he owned the place. "Mrs. Blake, would it be okay if I made a quick dash for some water?" I promise I won't bring back a pet goldfish this time. He asked, with all the seriousness of a cat contemplating the meaning of life. His voice sneaked up on me, smooth and rich like a chocolate cake that just whispered my name. "Oh, you betcha, Jackie," I replied, trying to keep it chill and laid back. "Go ahead and call me Ansu, I promise I won't bite unless you're made of chocolate." He flashed that smile so effortlessly charming, it could probably make a butterfly jealous with all the fluttering it caused in my chest. "Thanks a bunch, Ansu. You're the best. Seriously, I owe you one, maybe a coffee or a donut. Or both. Let's not get crazy here." As he reached out for a glass, our fingers had a little accidental tango. Who knew glassware could spark such chemistry? It was a blink and you miss it moment. Temporary, like that one pair of socks you thought would last forever but mysteriously vanished after one wash. Well, it hit me like a surprise pie in the face. I froze like a deer in headlights, wondering if I should move or just wait for the next episode of my life to start. His words hung around like a bad smell, heavy with meaning and just as hard to ignore. My breath was snatched right out of my lungs, like a magician pulling a rabbit from a hat. I knew it was time to do a dramatic exit and wrap up this chat like a bad sitcom ending. Well, that didn't happen. I felt like a deer in headlights, totally stuck and drawn to him like a moth to a flame, basking in his dazzling aura. Just when I was ready to unleash my witty comeback, in strutted Crick like he owned the place. The atmosphere went and pulled a dramatic exit, leaving everyone wondering if it had just dropped the mic. Jackie stood tall, a laid-back grin stretching across his face like he just heard the best dad joke ever. "Thanks for the feast, Mrs. Blake," he quipped, before making his grand exit with Crick. Yet his words just hung there, like a bad smell you can't quite identify. And so, the little fire he lit inside me kept on sizzling like a stubborn campfire that just won't quit. The days decided to throw a party and merged into one big, confusing blur of time. Shifty glances were thrown like ninja stars. Fleeting tickles. Quick fingers in the kitchen that neither of us could escape from. As we zipped by each other in the hallway, our arms barely grazing, I felt a jolt of excitement like I just won the lottery, except it was just a casual brush, not $1,000,000. I found myself tiptoeing down a very wobbly tightrope. The more I tried to resist, the more I found myself falling for him like a cartoon character slipping on a banana peel right into a love puddle. On a delightfully calm afternoon, Crick decided to embark on his grand adventure of running errands, because who doesn't love a good trip to the grocery store? Jackie decided to play hide and seek with the shadows, but he forgot he was the only one playing. As I reclined on the patio, savoring a delightful glass of iced tea, he strolled over to join my elite club of relaxation enthusiasts. "Mind if I plop down here for a bit?" he asked, with a twinkle in his eye. "Oh, heck no," I shot back. For a while, we hung out in the land of silence, where even the crickets were too shy to chirp. The birds were singing their little hearts out while the traffic buzzed like a bunch of bees on caffeine, wrapping us up in a cozy, chaotic hug. And then, like a poorly timed stand-up comedian, he decided it was time to unleash his words upon the unsuspecting audience. "You've been radiating a whole new energy lately, like a disco ball at a tea party. Is everything peachy keen over there?" I hit the brakes on my thoughts. My brain is like a blender on high speed, and I forgot to put the lid on. "If there's anything I can help you with, just give me a shout. I'm here, ready to tackle your requests like a superhero in a cape minus the cape, of course." His voice may have faded into the background like a bad karaoke performance, but the meaning was as clear as a neon sign in a blackout. As I stared at him, really stared, a wild transformation started bubbling up inside me like a soda shaken too hard. It had transformed into something far more complicated than just a crush, like trying to explain quantum physics to a cat. It was a longing so profound, it could probably write a novel about its feelings. A desperate desire to feel alive again, like a deflated balloon hoping for a gust of wind. The evening it all went down felt like it was written by a cosmic sitcom writer. Peter and Crick decided to grace the baseball game with their presence, because who wouldn't want to sit in the sun and watch millionaires throw a ball around? The silence in the house was so loud, it could have won a gold medal in the Olympics for awkwardness. The kind of quiet that lets your brain wander off to places where even GPS would get lost. Jackie decided to stick around, declaring that baseball just wasn't his jam, more like a soggy biscuit, really. I never thought to throw my hat in the ring and give it a good old tussle. A wave of relief crashed over me like a surprise party I didn't know I was invited to. A little piece of me was doing the cha-cha with dread. As I sprawled on the couch, wrestling with the book in my hands like it was a particularly stubborn cat, Jackie burst into the room, dramatically framed by the soft glow of the dim hallway light, as if he were auditioning for a role in a soap opera. "Mind if I crash your party?" he asked, with a grin that suggested he was more interested in the snacks than the conversation. "Absolutely," I chuckled softly. He plopped down next to me, getting cozier than a pair of socks fresh out of the dryer. The atmosphere around us was so charged, it felt like we were all about to become human lightning rods. "You seem to be channeling your inner cat on a hot tin roof," he said with a chuckle. "I'm just peachy, thanks for asking." I might have stretched the truth a bit. He reached out like a magician pulling a rabbit from a hat, whisking the book from my hands and setting it down as if it were a fragile egg. Poof. Book gone. "And Sue, you can drop the act, I promise I won't run away screaming." The way he said my name was like a roller coaster ride, no frills, just pure excitement, and I was here for the thrill. Who knew a few syllables could send my heart doing backflips? I spun around to face him, my resolve doing the cha-cha under the weight of his gaze. "Can I not murmur, you ask?" Well, that's a question for the ages. "Oh, absolutely." He shot back with all the confidence of a cat walking on a tightrope. "I have a hunch you're riding the same emotional roller coaster." In that moment, my brain hit the brakes and decided to take a little vacation from worrying. I leaned in, and he decided to join the party, because who doesn't love a good lean-in moment? When our lips met, it was like someone had accidentally opened the floodgates at a water park, sudden, chaotic, and a little bit splashy. Weeks of pent-up longing crashed over us like a tidal wave of emotions, drowning out everything else. Who knew feelings could be so dramatic? His hands had a strength that was like a gentle giant